In this tutorial, I'll show you how to create this falling snow in Blender. So you could use this tutorial to add a falling snow to a 3D scene, or you can do what I'm going to be doing in this video, which is adding it as stock footage as a video overlay over a video, just like I'm doing in this video. And I'm also going to show you how to make the animation of the snow loopable so that you can loop the stock footage, and the very starting will be the same as the very end, so you can have it loop and have a continuous snowfall animation. And if you'd like to help support the channel and purchase the finished project files, you can get that with the links in the description on my Gumroad store and my Patreon page. And when you purchase the project files, you'll get the finished Blender file, and you'll also get some stock footage videos, which you can add as a video overlay if you'd like to add them on top of a video. And then just one more thing before we start, I wanted to let you know about my Christmas Ornaments asset pack. In this Christmas Ornaments asset pack, you will get 160 Christmas ornament 3D models created with Blender. The ornaments are pre-set up in Blender's asset browser, so you can easily drag and drop the ornament models into your holiday scenes. All of the ornaments materials are created with Blender's procedural shader nodes. If you'd like to purchase the asset pack, you can find the product links in the description. So here I am in a new scene in Blender. I'm just going to start by selecting everything. We'll just delete everything, and I'm going to be creating some little snow pieces which we'll be adding to the particles. So I'll be going to the add menu, and let's go here to mesh, and I'm going to add an icosphere. And then I'm going to shade the icosphere smooth so that we have a smooth piece of snow. Now I want to create a few different variations of the snow so that the snow pieces look a little bit different. So I'll hit Shift D to duplicate. Let's bring this over here, and then duplicate it one more time so we have 3 of them. So we'll go into edit mode, and what I'm going to do is go to the face select, and we'll just select the top faces, and then I'll hit the O key to turn on the proportional editing, and I'll bring it up a bit, and then also select the bottom pieces and bring it down a little bit, and maybe squish the whole thing down a little bit on the X and the Y, just so we have like a longer piece of snow. Let's actually delete this one, and we're going to take this one and duplicate it again, and then we'll go into edit mode, maybe scale this one up a bit, and we can maybe select some parts here on the side and maybe bring it in, and we'll select a piece here and maybe rotate it over a little bit, rotate this over a little bit, just so we have 3 different randomly shaped pieces of snow. So those are going to be all the pieces of snow. Now I want to make them much smaller so they're a better scale. So I'm going to scale them all way down to a 0.1, just a 0.1. We'll bring this into the center, and then I'll press Ctrl A and just apply the scale. So that's the default size of the objects. Now I want to move them into their own collection so we can add them as a collection in the particle system. So we'll hit the M key, we'll click on new collection, we'll just call this snow and click on create. So now over here in the outliner, we have this snow collection with the 3 objects. Let's also save our Blender file. So we'll click on file and save. And I'll just save the Blender file in a folder with my project files and click on Save Blender File. So before we get started with the particles, I want to set up some lighting and then also create some basic materials to the snow objects. So let's click over here on the world properties, and I'm going to be adding in a free HDRI from polyhaven.com. Link will be in the description if you want to download the same HDRI. So I'm going to click here on the yellow dot next to color, and I'm going to choose environment texture. So click environment texture, and then we'll just open up the texture. And here's the HDRI that I'll be using from polyhaven.com. It is the Birchwood HDRI, and I just downloaded the 1K HDR version, so I'll open this image. So you can use the same HDRI if you want to, or you could use another one. But I'm going to go into the rendered viewport mode, and now we have some nice realistic world lighting to light up the snow. We'll also add a sunlight, so I'll go to the add menu, we'll go down here to light and add a sunlight, and I'll kind of rotate the sunlight over, maybe rotate it over like that, so it's kind of pointed down on the side. And if I click here to go to the sunlight settings, I'll turn the strength up to 5, so it's a bit brighter. Now let's also go over here to the render properties, and I'm going to scroll down here. We're going to open up the film tab, and I'll checkmark the transparent button. Now this is optional, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I want to make it transparent because I'm going to be rendering out these frames with alpha transparency, and then I'll be adding them to a video overlay so you can make it snow in your video. So I'm going to turn on the transparent button. Now let's also go down here to the color management, open up the color management tab, and I'll be using the view transform of AGX, and I'll change the look to very high contrast just to pop out the colors and make things look more contrasted and saturated. So I'll now be creating a very simple procedural snow material. So I'll just select one of the snow objects. We'll go to the shading workspace. I'll zoom into the snow and go into the rendered viewport mode. Let's add a new material, and I can just call this material snow. So what I'm going to do is go to the add menu, and I'm going to search for a noise texture, and then let me just hold down the Control and Shift key and select the noise texture to preview it. And then also with the noise texture selected, I'll press Control T. That's the feature of the Node Wrangler add-on, and it's going to add the texture coordinate mapping nodes. And I'm going to use the object coordinates, so we'll put the object into the vector, so it places the texture texture on the object more evenly. We can also click on the other objects and we can add the same snow to the other objects. So now previewing the noise texture, I'm going to change some of the settings. So I'm going to turn the scale to a 3, and then I'll turn the detail up to like a 10. And now we can take the factor, or we can put it into the normal. Let's Control Shift select the principal shader, but we need to convert it to bump data. So let's go to the add menu and we're going to add a bump node. We'll put it here between the noise texture and the normal, and we want the factor to going into the height value. So now you can see the noise texture is making the snow look all bumpy. And I'll leave the strength at 1 so it's really bumpy, but you could turn it down if you want to. Also on the base color, I'm going to make sure it's fully white, and then also I'll turn the roughness all the way down so it's really shiny. So now we kind of have this reflective shiny snow material. So let's click back over here to go to the layout, and I'm going to go into the solid view and I'll zoom out here, and then I want to just go here to the collection and click on the check mark there to hide it, just so we can't see the snow particle objects. So now let's add a plane. So I'll go to the add menu, we'll go to mesh, and I'll add a plane, and I'll bring the plane up on the z-axis and we'll scale it up a bit. I can also go into edit mode and kind of scale it up like this. We can also turn off the proportional editing and just kind of scale it out, just fit it to your scene. Maybe I'll bring it over like that, and then I'll press Ctrl A and just apply the scale, so that's the default size of the object. Let's also add a camera, so I'll go to the add menu and just add a camera, and then I'll move my view to roughly about here, and then I'll press Control Alt Numpad 0. Control Alt Numpad 0 will bring the camera to where we are. And you can just grab the camera and move it around if you need to move it around a bit. So we'll select the plane, and we're going to click on this button here to go to the particle settings, and we'll click on the plus here to add new particle settings. And I'm going to rename this to Particle System 1, and also this one here, Particle System 1. And I'm renaming this because we're going to be making 2 different particle systems, and that way we'll make it so that the snow can be loopable, so the stock footage of the snow can be loopable. So if I hit the space bar to play, that is going to play the simulation, and right now we just have these little objects here which are basically just showing us where the particles are, but these actually won't show up in the render. So what we want to do is click here on the render settings. Let's go down here, and instead of rendering as halo, we're going to render this as collection. Then let's go here to the instance collection, and we're going to choose the snow. So now if I play this, you can see there's the snow, but the problem is that the light object was added into the snow collection, so that was a mistake. Let's just open up the outliner here and turn on the snow, and if I open this up here, the sunlight was in the collection here, so just drag it out here and put it in this collection, and then just hide the snow. So make sure that the snow collection just has the 3 icospheres. And also the plane and the camera, we can drag those in here to the default collection. So now if I play this, you can see they are pretty small, but if you click on that, you can kind of see it a little bit better. Now it's way too small, so I want to make it bigger. So right here as the render as collection, we can change the scale. So I'm going to turn the scale to a 0.4. I think that's pretty good for my scene, so that's better. And then also the random scale, I'll turn this to a 0.6. So the random scale will make some of them just a bit smaller. And there we go, we now have a nice animation. Let's also select the camera, and you can hit G to grab and then double tap the Z key to bring the camera in and out. And I'll just bring the camera a little bit farther back, maybe even select the plane and scale the plane up a little bit and move it up, just so that it's a little bit farther away from the snow, so that looks a little bit better. And then also one thing I forgot to do is in the outliner here, we can click on that check mark there just to hide those snow objects. Now also when we render the final animation, I don't want to be able to see this plane in the render. So if you go here to the render settings, right here, go to render, you can turn off the show emitter. So if I go into the rendered viewport mode, you're still going to be able to see it in the viewport, but when it renders, the plane is going to be invisible. Now as the snow is falling, I want it to be rotating a little bit just so it looks slightly random. So we're going to turn on the rotation, and we'll open up the rotation, and we'll turn the randomize to 1, the phase will turn to 1, and then this here, the randomized phase, will also drag this all the way up to 2. Now to actually make it rotating during the animation, we're going to open up the angular velocity, and we also want to turn on the dynamic here. So that'll make it so it's rotating as it's animated. And then this angular velocity right here, the amount, let's turn this up to a 4. So now that it's a 4, it is a little bit hard to see because the snow is kind of falling quite fast, but if I just go through here and play this, you can see some of these pieces, they are rotating a little bit as they're falling. Now we can change the speed of the snow, but one thing that I want to do is change the frame rate, because I'm going to be adding this as a video overlay on top of my videos, and I record all my videos in 60 frames per second. So I'm going to click right here to go to the output properties, and I'm going to go to the format. And here on the frame rate, I'm going to change this to 60 frames per second. So if I now play this, the snow looks like it's falling a lot faster, but we can change the speed later and kind of fix the speed. Now this is of course totally optional. You don't have to turn it to 60 if you don't want to, but I'm going to be adding this as a video overlay, so my video is is 60 frames per second, so I'll leave this to 60 frames per second. So now let's click back over here to go to the particle settings. Now to make it falling slower, we can turn off the gravity, or just turn down the gravity. So what we're going to do is go here to the field weights. We'll open up the field weights, and on the gravity, I'll just turn this to a really small number of like a 0.1. So if I go back to the starting now and play this, the gravity is really small. So now if I kind of zoom in here, you can see the gravity is so small that the snow is actually shooting up out of the top of the plane, and then it's just like slowly coming back down. So that is a problem. What we want to do is make the snow show it shooting down. So to make the snow so it's shooting down, let's close these settings here, and we're going to open up the velocity. So here on the velocity, we have this object align here, and we have this Z value. So if I turn up the Z value and then play this, you can see they're going to shoot up much faster. So if I turn the Z value to a negative value, let's just try like a -10. Now that it's negative, it's going to be shooting down instead of coming up. Now that's a little bit too fast, so here on the Z value on the object align, I'm just going to go with like a -2, just a -2, so go back to the starting and play this, and you can see now they're just falling kind of slow, and that looks pretty good. Now also this normal here, I'm going to turn the normal to 0 because we don't want any of that. That is going to have it shoot out of the normal, so the direction of the normal of the face, but that's going to make it shoot up, and I don't want that. So we'll just turn that to 0. Now to make it look like it's slightly windy and make the snow look like it's just kind of fluttering around a bit, we can turn up this randomize. So I like turning this to around a 3.4. I think 3.4 is pretty good. So now when I play this, you can see as well as the snow falling down, it's also kind of slightly moving to the right or to the left, and it just makes the snow look a bit more light and makes it look a bit more random, kind of like natural snowfall. Now I also want to add more snow, so let's close the settings and we're going to open up the emission, and here on the number, I like turning this to like 1800 because that's quite a bit more snow. Now I'm also going to have this be a 500 frame animation, and then we're going to have it loop. So here on the end frame, I'm going to turn this to 500 frames. Now 500 frames might sound like a lot of frames, but because most of this is transparency, it's actually going to render really quite fast. So if you're worried about render times, it should actually render really fast. And we can also turn the samples really quite low. You're really not going to be able to see these really that well. So we'll turn the samples way down, and most of the image is transparent, so the images actually render pretty fast. Now here on the start frame, I'll leave it at 1, but then here on the end frame, I'm going to turn it to 500 because we have a 500 frame animation. Oop, not 5,000, just turn it to 500. Now you can see there's this lifetime here, and the lifetime is how long the particles last. So right now they're kind of ending at about here because the lifetime is only 50. So I'm going to turn the lifetime up really big to like 2,000. So if we turn it to 2,000, you can see the snow is going to fall way farther down before the snow starts to disappear or go away. So that's looking a lot better. Now the snow is still falling just a little bit fast, and I do want to slow it down a bit. So let's open up the physics tab. We'll go down here, and we're going to open up the integration under physics. And then we have this time step setting right here. So if I just turn this to a really small number of like a 0.01, maybe a 0.01, and then play this, you can see the snow is going really slow. So what I'm going to do instead is just turn the time step to like a 0.02. I think a 0.02 is pretty good. So now if I play this, it just looks like a soft, natural snowfall. So once you've adjusted all the settings and you like how the settings are, we're going to make this a looping animation by duplicating the particle system and then just changing where it starts and where it ends. Because right now it's not looping, because if I were to play this, you can see there's no snow, and then at the very end there is snow, and it suddenly disappears. So to make it loop, let's scroll up to the starting here, and we're going to duplicate the same particle system. So make sure you like how all the settings are, because then we're going to duplicate the particles. So we're going to click on this plus here to duplicate the particles. Let's also save our project. And this one, I'll just rename this to particle system 2. And then if you click here on the particle settings, we don't want to use these particle settings that it made, because you can see it's changed all the settings back to the default. We want to click on this drop down here and use the particle settings 1. So now it's going to keep all the settings from the first particle system. So right now, most of these particles here are using the same particle settings because it's using particle settings 1. But what we want to do is select the second particle system, and we want to duplicate the settings so the settings are the same, but we can change them to make the start frame and the end frame different. So click on particle system 2, and then you can click on this little icon here, which looks like two little pieces of paper. That is going to duplicate it, and now we'll rename it to particle settings 2. But you can see it still has all the same settings. So now what we want to do is make the second particle system start here farther back in the timeline. So on the start frame, the frame start right here, let's make it -500. And why we're doing that is because this one ends at 500. So this one is going to start at -500, and then it's going to end at 1. So basically, this first particle system will go from 0, or it'll start at 1 and end at 500, but the first particle system, or this particle system here, the one that we duplicated, it'll start at negative 500 and go to 0. And that way it'll look like a seamless looping animation. So now we want to bake the simulation, so we're going to close the settings and open up the cache here. And we'll click on bake, and it's going to go through and bake the simulation, and then click on the other one here, and then click on bake, and it's going to go through and bake the simulation. So now if I play this, if I click here to go to the very end of the timeline, you can see it jumps back to the starting, and it looks like a seamless animation. So let's just play this again, take a close look at the particles there. You can see right at the very end, it jumps back to the starting, but it looks exactly the same. So it's now a looping animation. So then you can change any settings if you want to, like the lighting or anything else you want, but I'm now going to render this out to frames. So let's click over here to go to the output properties, and let's click on this button here on the output to set a file output. And in the folder with my project files, I'm going to click here to create a new folder. I'm just going to call this frames. We'll go into the folder and then just click on the accept button. Now I want the images to store the alpha transparency so that we can add them as a video overlay in the video. So what I want to do is render it to PNG images. That is really important. And then also make sure the color is set to RGBA. RGBA stands for red, green, blue, and alpha. So it's going to store the alpha transparency in the images. So now you can change the other settings like the format. So this is the resolution that I have for my video tutorial, so I'll leave this there. And then I'm also, of course, using 60 frames per second. Let's go up here to the render properties, and I'm going to open up the sampling. And here on the samples, if we open up the render samples, I'm going to turn on the denoise so it denoises it, and that'll make it look nicer. But here on the samples, I find that just 25 will be totally enough samples. If I just give this a quick render by hitting F12, you can see it rendered really fast. It only took like 1 second to render, and then it denoised it. Now also, you might have noticed that there's a little bit of motion blur, and I do like that because I think the motion blur makes it look more realistic. So I'm going to check mark the motion blur so that some of these which are moving faster will just have a little bit of motion blur. Now let's also close the sampling, and we can open up the light paths to make it render even faster. So here on all of the light paths, the caustics, we can turn these off. The filter velocity, the indirect and direct lighting, we can turn those all off, so turn them to 0. And also on the max bounces here, we can turn all of these values off. So the total diffuse, volume, transparent, and just turn all of these to 0. And turn the volume to 0. So if they're all turned to 0, it'll render much faster. So now if I just hit F12 to render, it rendered really quite fast, but you can see the scene looks exactly the same. So let's just hit Control S to save the project, and then to render out the animation, we'll click on render and we'll render the animation. And the rendering has finished, so I've just opened up Blender's video editor, so you can click on File, you can click on New, and then just open up video editing, and I've just added in this tutorial here of my procedural Cravero material. So what I'm going to do is press Shift A here, and I'll go to Image and Sequence. Then I'll just locate to the folder where I saved the frames. I'll go into the folder, then hit the A key a few times to make sure they're all selected, and click on Add Image Strip. So I can now play this, and we can watch the falling snow play in the video. Now if you want to make it loop, just hit Shift D to duplicate and drop it here, and now it's going to be a perfectly seamless looping animation. And also, if you do want to speed it up or slow it down, an easy way to do that is to select the frames, hit Shift A, and you can go here to Effect Strip and add Speed Control. Then if you just click here on the side here, you can grab the handle and pull it out, and I'll just make it maybe like half the speed. And now if I play through this, you can see it's going to be quite a bit slower, and then you can select both of them and duplicate them and drop them here, and just continue to loop it as many times as you need to have the snow looping in the video. So then to render this out to a video, you can of course set the start frame and the end frame, and then here on the video settings, you can go here to the output and you can set the output. I can just rename it like video here and save it on my desktop, and then I use FFmpeg video to render it out to a video. Here on the encoding, I use MPEG-4, I use H.264 for the video codec, and I set it to medium quality and good. And then if you have any audio, you can open up the audio and set the audio to AAC. And then to render the video, you can click on render and render animation. So that is how you can create falling snow in Blender. So I hope you found the video helpful, and thank you for watching. And if you'd like to purchase the finished project files, you can get that with the links in the description on my Gumroad store and my Patreon page. And to watch more of my Christmas themed tutorials, you can check out my Christmas tutorial playlist, and I have lots more Christmas themed tutorials like a Christmas wreath, a Christmas tree, Christmas lights, Christmas presents, and lots more Christmas themed tutorials. But I hope you found this helpful, and thanks for watching.